What is up, Who Dat Nation, and thanks for joining us on the Dome Patrol podcast. I'm your host, Jalen, and I've got I'm excited.
What the fuck?
I felt like I was going into like stupid radio guy voice, you know.
You were.
Well, hey everybody, welcome, and we're back. Actually, and Drew Brees is back. No, actually, and Gunn's back. Okay, they said it couldn't be done, which is
Joining us on the Dome Patrol.
mute yourself. Which is precisely why he went and done it with a bionic thumb and a custom-made rehab schedule, therapy schedule. Drew Brees was able to return to the NFL earlier than anyone initially thought possible, and then he silenced all the doubters with a 373-yard and 3-touchdown performance. I won't count anything else, leading to a convincing victory against an overrated but respectable Arizona defense. We have the return of Gunn. Hasn't been on the show since 8 years, maybe.
I think Damon banned me for talking about soccer about 8 years ago.
And he's back. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get us going first with the birthday boy. But first, put your seatbelts on, keep your hands, legs inside your earbuds at all times, and enjoy the show. Jason, welcome to the show. Happy birthday. What's your number? Tell me you're drinking for your birthday.
Thank you. Yes, I am drinking for my birthday. I had a cocktail when I got home and then made a little dinner. So now I'm drinking, once again, wine down Mondays. Got another glass of wine. So I'll go with a 2.
All right. Good.
You know, people thought it should be higher and it's later, but
You saw that, huh?
I mean, I can't go nuts on my birthday. But I am. This is the first broadcast from my new podcast room. As you can tell, I've kept the tradition going with just a blanket in the background. It is a Haunted Mansion themed because Halloween is this week.
Woo.
But hopefully over the course of the next few weeks, the room will actually get situated. I'll get some good stuff on the wall, and we're ready to go. But this is it. First time in. Feels good.
All right. And Gunn, welcome to the show. Do you have a number yet? Have you started?
Yeah, I started. I'm having a little coconut flavored New Amsterdam vodka.
Ooh.
And Milo's tea.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very Splenda. Really.
I've got
Mystique.
Tito's vodka, but soon, based on a tweet that I got yesterday, was I will buy some Louisiana vodka pretty soon. But I got that mixed with cran blackberry, so a little sweet.
I like last week you were drinking the fruity vodka concoction, and then
It got you going.
Jason made fun of you while he was drinking white wine out of a box.
Yes, you are correct.
Hey, it was red wine, okay? It was red wine.
Enchanté.
That's
All
right.
right. I have missed one. All right, we're going to say hi on the stream. We know Scott's watching. Chad Laborde, thanks for watching 2 weeks in a row. Chris Farmer, you're watching. And anybody else who happens to be watching, feel free to say hi. I only see the people who I'm friends with on Facebook unless you say hello. And with that, we are going to start talking about the first game that the Saints have played with Drew Brees as the starting quarterback since the Rams game, which we don't want to talk about. So let's talk about the Cards game in the game recap. All right, what y'all got?
It was a little slow start to the game. Now look, I will say this, but before you listen to anything I say about the game, I think I drank more at this game than I have so far this season. Not to say I was hammered, but I had a good amount to drink. But when the game commenced, I had one cocktail when I got there, one beer at halftime. That's it. So I do tend to kind of sober up over the course of the game. But I know the final score will say we won by, it was a nice, comfortable win, but it was closer than it should have been. Some special teams, Miss Will Lutz missed a kick. We moved the ball. We had a shit ton of offense, but we couldn't kind of convert when it mattered. But I mean, at the end of the day, we proved that we were the better team, and our defense continues to play lights out. It's absolutely unreal.
Piece of ice.
Okay. Now, I know they were out without David Johnson, and it's a rookie quarterback. And really, their biggest play of the game was one of their first plays on offense. They did that trick fucking play to get all the way down the field.
It was kind of like that's the only way they knew they were going to move the ball was with gimmicks and tricks. I mean, against this Saints defense who hasn't let up a 100-yard rusher since, 1912?
I think this is the last time Gunn was on.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What did we hold him to, like 50 yards, was it? I had the stat up there. 40 yards rushing. I mean, every week it's embarrassing numbers. While now Latavius Murray, second week in a row with 100 yards. So Latavius Murray is single-handedly doubling the
Prisoned.
running production. Yeah, I went back for that clip, Jason, and it's not as funny as you remember it.
It is
I
to me.
mean, yeah,
Murray, prisoned.
right.
Come on.
I mean, I get it because he's a funny character, but that's not the
Right.
funniest line. If anybody who watched Flight of the Conchords, you'll get Jason's Murray present, and he
Prisoned.
wants to play that every time we mention Latavius Murray. Present. You have to
Prisoned.
say that just like looking at whatever. You have
Yep.
to. You have to.
It's a reflex.
You
It's a
just have to
reflex
say
for me.
present anytime we say Murray.
Prisoned.
All right. So here's my real first question. All right. I want to know from Gunn, you start on this one. What impressed you more, the Saints offensive line or the Saints defensive line?
I think I'd have to say the offensive line. I mean, watching this game, I wasn't one of those people that was too excited to see Drew come back, and before the bye week, I think Teddy could have handled these birds himself, but Drew came back. Drew looked fantastic. I mean, Drew being gone for these 5 weeks, it's like what I needed as a Saints fan to appreciate what we have with Drew Brees.
Right.
And I know this question is about the offensive line, and I'll get there.
He's taking a long route.
Right. With Kamara out again, and Drew coming back, and is he 100% healthy? That offensive line just showed out, and Latavius Murray is a grown ass man, just a grown ass man. He dominated. The offensive line dominated. Ramczyk dominated. Andrus Pete for the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl Andrus Pete.
Oh,
I want an all Saints. I want six. I want six Saints offensive
Saints
linemen
helmets
in
on
the
the-
Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I want six of them in the Pro Bowl.
Will Clapp played a huge part in the game.
Will Clapp can go to Pro Bowl as a tight end.
I mean, there was at the end of the
He
first
can
half.
check. He'll have to check
You know
into
what?
the
But
ballot
none of
as
them
an
will.
eligible
None of them will
receiver.
actually
Right.
go and play because they'll have other.
Right, no, they're too busy. They're gonna have other things to do that time of year.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
It would not be prudent for them.
No. But you
Or
want
just
them to have the
elect all
choice. You want them to have the choice.
Elect all six. And I wasn't even saying Will Clapp is now actually seven, because Will Clapp can go as a tight end. He can go as an eligible receiver. And then we'll have six offensive linemen in the Pro Bowl.
Well, but Taysom
Six
Hill will
being
be a
that-
tight end.
Oh,
Or he
Taysom
can go
Hill's
as a
gonna go for
receiver.
seven different positions.
Right.
Yeah. Special teams captain, backup quarterback, tight end.
We'll probably make it as a
yeah.
long snapper.
He might make it as like a media relations expert. He should get a
He's going to
designated.
paint the field. He's going to be the guy.
There
who
should
paints
be a
the field.
spot just for a really athletic Mormon in every Pro Bowl.
Gotta be
Like a
more.
designated
All right, so you say the offensive line. Jason, do you agree? Is it the
offensive line over defensive line? No, offensive line was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the offensive line did play very well, and Arizona came in. Chandler Jones has had a ton of sacks coming into this game, and Armstead just fucking shut them down. I mean, I know we've been talking about Ramczyk all season, but a healthy Armstead is right up there too. And to hold, now they did get some pressure early in the game, and the one thing Gunn was talking about having Brees back. There were a few plays where Brees avoided the sack where, as much as I love Teddy, I think he probably would have.
Slippery.
I think
It's a-
right. I think Teddy would have taken a sack, but whereas watching Brees maneuver the pocket as only he could do was just majestic to watch again. And it's just it kind of made you forget about it, and then you see it and you're like, holy shit! Like there were multiple times where he clearly avoided the sack, and he avoids the sack and still makes the pass and gets 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, whatever it is.
Well, not only that, but like when he passes the ball to Austin Carr, it's you kind of, Gun, to your point you were making about being able to appreciate Drew Brees took. I mean, not that we didn't appreciate him, and we all know what you mean, but you
No,
watch
but it
Teddy.
helps.
Teddy would throw the ball
Absence
to
makes
Michael
the heart
Thomas.
grow fonder.
Yeah, well, but Teddy would hit Michael Thomas, and Ted Ginn. And Brees now, I don't know how many different receivers Brees hit, but that's typical Brees. But you forgot, I almost forgot about the fact that like it's not that we didn't have other receivers, and you talk about the whole trade conversation. Do we need another receiver? If you don't have Brees, yeah, you do need another receiver. But because you have Brees, he will spread the ball out, and now all of a sudden defenses have to cover more people, which only makes Michael Thomas even better. I mean, it's just you can't stop this team. You cannot stop this. Something special, more special, is happening this year because of the Brees injury. I think it was all part of the plan.
Well,
I think we're
it
better
was
for it.
great.
We're better off because of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hindsight, yeah, right. I wouldn't have said
it was
that
great.
6 weeks ago, but
Yeah. Everything was coming down, but and at the end of the game, when Teddy did come in, like the fans now love Teddy. Like that's a cool thing, Like the fans appreciate what he did these last 5 weeks. And
Teddy's
to have it,
always going to be able to come back to New Orleans. Like I hope Teddy goes and gets a big contract. I hope Teddy goes and gets paid this year. Next year. He made the right move. Come back. He took less money, made a smart move. Everything worked out so perfect. Smart move by Teddy. Smart move by the Saints front office. Teddy went out and just showed how good, how not out of the ordinary, extraordinary you have to be in order to win football games. So many times, like a lot of these backup quarterbacks that are coming in for shitty first string quarterbacks, like Kyle Allen for Cam. Cam Newton's fucking done. Cam Newton is done. He's never going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL ever again. Hot take, I said it here.
No, I don't think anybody here is
Trubisky in Chicago. Look, when I heard that Trubisky was starting the Chicago game against us, I got so excited because I was like, Chase Daniel, that's going to be a ball game.
Right.
Chase Daniel, I'm worried about playing against Chase Daniel. Oh, Trubisky's coming back? Because all a team like the Bears need is a game manager. And you saw that with the Saints. The Saints bring Teddy in, and Sean Payton, a brilliant coaching moves.
The coach has to know what to do with them. I mean, you look at the difference in even just the offensive game plans while Teddy was here versus Brees. You look at the amount of times we run the ball for one. Although I will say, Latavius Murray ran a lot the last 2 weeks. And so 1 week with Teddy, 1 week with Brees. That's how he gets to 100 yards. Let me pause real quick. I'm going to read some of these comments. Jason, because it's your birthday, we do have a couple of happy birthdays from you. Scott says, happy birthday, Jason. Davis Douglas, happy birthday, you bald-headed fuck. Ben Wright, happy birthday, Jason.
Come on.
Go fuck
Is
yourself.
that really Damon?
Josh Caro.
Hey. Did Damon create a bunch of fake accounts? Come on.
Yeah, so it looked like Josh Caro. So it looks like all the Twitter doctors were wrong about Brees' thumb. And also, did Brees use the Cardinals as rehab? Maybe that was. It was, instead of practicing, you just let me go out there and throw a few balls. He's got an offensive line that can block for him. He's got all the time in the world, except for the couple of slipper escapes that he did. Mordecai, happy birthday, Jason. Adam Groves watching. Scott says Goodell begs to differ about about us being unstoppable. You're right. We have a tweet coming up about that. All right, let me get back. Let's see. Next question. Okay, so Kyler Murray. 13 yards rushing. And the reason I'm bringing up his rushing stats is because I was the one who brought up last week that he was a running quarterback. I think that was Scott's comment. And so if we are looking at the defense, we held a running quarterback to 13 yards. I think that's pretty impressive.
I don't consider him a running.
And he only ran twice. Okay, well, he's not a throwing quarterback. So what kind of a quarterback is he?
They shut him down. They shut him down in all dimensions of the game. They didn't allow him to run. They didn't allow him to have significant success passing. I don't remember if it was a third and 1 or 4th and 1. Rather than just try and run for the first down, they did that lame ass bootleg, and then he overthrew his wide receiver by a few yards. Kyler Murray was fantastic at Oklahoma last year. Generational talent when he was playing for Oklahoma. Him behind that Cardinals offensive line. I feel bad for the guy.
So you think it's more their line than it is him, and that if he were behind, say, the Saints offensive line, that he'd be
you put him in the Saints system, it would be pretty fantastic. But there's a guy that needs to come into the Saints system next year that's going to be a Heisman winner as well.
All right.
And he's a little bit taller. And we've seen his ass.
Yeah. Look, with
That's
Murray,
Louisiana's ass.
yeah. Look, going against a defense like this in this environment, I thought the fans were loud as always, like they should be. But I mean, look, they had won 3 straight games coming into here, so it's not like Murray was playing like dog shit. He's just like he's a rookie
Against
coming in
garbage
here
teams.
against well, we're right. Look, against a defense like this, it's an almost impossible situation. And considering the head-to-head coaching matchups, like Sean Payton's going to coach circles around Cliff Kingsbury.
Dude,
You know,
the
I mean,
last week they showed.
the fact that they went for they went for it on 4th down at their own 30, like that was the play of the ball game right there. Like, what are you doing? The game was still a 1-score game at that point. You punt it and hope for the best. You don't go for it, and then after that, like the game was all Saints. You know,
Beautiful. Well, and you look at just the facial expression. You didn't see it, Jason, probably because you were at the game, but on TV, the facial expressions of just what Kingsbury, whatever. I don't even know pronounce his name right. He was out of his league. It was like a high school coach showing up to coach against Sean Payton, and you could see the fear in his eyes. And then just last week they showed, I think it was the difference in the play sheets between Sean Payton's play sheet and the Bears play sheet, the head coach. And then this week, I happened to pay attention to the Cardinals play sheet, and it's like 7 or 8 plays on there. It's kind of like the old Carl Smith. You got 5 plays to the left, and it's the same 5 plays to the right. Whereas Sean Payton is just this evil, mad genius. There's no, the only person that could possibly outcoach Sean Payton might be Bill Belichick.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, Belichick and Peyton are 1 and 2 best coaches in the league. And I personally believe that Peyton is probably, I don't know. He's as a Saints loyalist, diehard, dead set Saints fan. I'm gonna say that Peyton's a better coach than Belichick. But look, you gotta kiss the dude's got 6 fucking rings
Right.
or
You got
he's the second best coach in the league.
perennial, right? He consistent, maintained what he's doing over there for 20 years. So yeah. Chris Sansbury, what up, boys? Happy birthday, yo. Greenbaum says we have a Kyler Murray on our team, and his name is Taysom Hill.
Not really, but that was a nice long.
Ours is more Mormon than theirs.
And then that's what Gunn says. Yeah, every team,
But
if you want to be successful, has to have, what'd you say, a wild card Mormon?
You gotta have a really athletic Mormon.
Athletic Mormon.
yeah, that's it.
You gotta have like Wildcat. Like Wildcat's an obsolete term for Taysom Hill. Wildcat meant like, oh, you can play 2 positions.
Right.
Taysom plays 24 positions, which is amazing because there's 11 positions on offense and 11 positions on defense. But he also plays 4 more positions on special teams.
Oh. I like this math. All right,
Yes.
Mordecai said, talking about play sheets. He says Sean Payton has the Cheesecake Factory menu's worth of play sheets in front of him. He's right.
Yeah.
He's never eaten at a Cheesecake Factory.
I could never call plays off of Sean Payton's play sheet. I get to the
That's why he wears the
Cheesecake Factory,
glasses.
I look at all those options and I just freeze. It takes me a really long time to order.
Right? That's like
40 seconds would not work for me.
No. He knows what he's doing. All right, so the next thing, I want to switch over to defense again here and talk about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And the question is, is he starting next week?
Well, we do have. Well, no, nobody's starting next week.
Ah, you got me.
Hey, trick question.
Yes. All right, all right.
I'm not that drunk yet.
Yeah, it was a test and you passed. All right. Would you start him next week? Were you playing?
Well, we are going to get P.J. Williams back from his 2-game suspension, so that'll help boost the secondary. But man, Gardner Johnson played so well this week. He's clearly earned some snaps. I don't know that he starts, but he's going to be in there a lot.
Yeah.
But just another. Look at
Solid.
our two. Look at our 2 second-round draft picks. McCoy, who's been playing lights out at center. And then Gardner Johnson actually making plays. This is a far cry from the fucking Stanley Jean-Baptiste of the world, the Stephon Anthony's of the world. It's been huge.
Yeah,
it's been huge to get a guy like this to contribute right away. But he balled out, man. That's the thing. Like this defense, another game holding opponents to under 260 yards of offense. So was that 4 straight? I believe
I saw something about the Saints are like second in the
Se-
league
second in rushing defense now.
in rushing defense. Not total though, but I think over the last 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
and
they,
they rush
let's
for
only count the weeks that make us second. Let's.
but they rushed for 40 yards. One play was a rush by Christian Kirk, the receiver, for 19. So if you take that out, you hold them to 21 yards rushing
Yep.
and only 10 attempts. And that was after the Bears only it's like teams don't even want to rush against us. The Bears ran 7 times last week. The Cardinals ran 11 times this week. Teams don't want to run against us. Like
Well,
we
they
strike
can't
fear in
either.
teams.
They can't. They have to pass if they're going to keep up. Which I mean, I say that, but in reality, the Bears didn't have to pass if they. Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
I
kind
mean,
of did, and
yeah, everybody has to pass if they want to keep up.
especially with Brees back.
Oh, especially. All right, let's see. Oh, Ben Wright's watching from the UK Saints podcast. By the way, it's still the Pelican Plunge. You guys cursed them by changing the segment name.
Oh shit, maybe so.
Davis Douglas, the play sheet only worked if the team's smart enough and coached well enough to execute it, which we are. Very good point. And Greenbaum, give it up for Clapp, who came in to play center during the 2-minute drill. Yeah, and we did, Greenbaum. You should have been listening. All right, anything y'all have on the game? Oh, I got something else. Will Lutz.
Yeah,
What the hey?
uncharacteristic miss.
What, I mean, is he over? Is he in his own head at this point, or is it just what everybody misses a
You
few,
know,
and he's just gonna miss all of his at the same time?
uh, everybody's kicking is all of a sudden like a premium in the NFL. I don't understand it. Like all of a sudden, it's hard to find 32 good kickers. Will Lutz just signed a big new deal. I understand missing the kick in Chicago last week. Man, I think Will Lutz is fine. I don't want to. I don't. He doesn't. My heart rate doesn't rise during special teams plays that he's involved in. Quite like it does during our punt returning game.
What do you mean when Deontay Harris is back there?
Yes.
Maybe we ought to let Taysom Hill return a couple.
I was gonna say Taysom Hill should return punts.
Well, especially
and
now that
block.
Brees is back and we don't have to worry about Hill being a backup quarterback. Now we can go back to unleashing Taysom, which we kind of did this week. He had 63 yards receiving this week.
That's
dude. I mean, he could be the answer to what we've been missing at tight end.
And you don't need you don't need a trade for a receiver.
Right here,
we've got a receiver already on the roster. Why would we trade for a wide receiver? We've already got probably the 7th best receiver in the league in Taysom Hill on our roster already. They're just afraid to play him there that much.
Right. Well, now they won't be because and Sean Payton even said it in the post-game interview about, now that Brees is playing again, we can use Taysom Hill and get him on the field more and use him for more plays. Aaron King just checked in, says, sorry I'm late. Where's that box of wine at? So Aaron Hill wants to see the box of wine.
I think during home games, I think that DeAndre Harris, how like at halftime they do that thing where they use the fake punt machine, the punt machine.
Yeah, the cash catch back in the day. Yeah,
the cash catch.
The Wendy's cash catch.
It's not back in the day. They still do it. I think it's like Coca-Cola or Rouse's now.
But they brought it back. That's what they did.
I think that DeAndre should have to, instead of going in and getting whatever motivational speech or therapy occurs at halftime, he should have to participate in the cash catch every week. Until he proves himself a little more.
He catches all three of them.
So my fucking blood pressure goes down, and then we'll be, then he'll still be fucked because my blood pressure.
Right. Ben Wright would like to know, can Taysom Hill kick? And I bet he can.
Oh yeah. Oh, in fact, they're saving that for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
He's gonna.
It's the new.
He's gonna kick it. Taysom Hill is in fact the best onside kicker in the league.
Is he?
He does this move where he kicks it and he recovers his own onside kick, and we're gonna start the second half of the Super Bowl off with that play instead of calling it, what did we call it last time? Ambush. We're gonna call it magic golden plates that were in a hat that only I can see.
I think that's a Mormon reference.
Disappeared.
If I'm not mistaken.
Now only Taysom can see the magic golden plates.
All right. Now, all right. I think is that all we have for the game recap? Anybody got anything left?
I guess
It was a
maybe getting
relaxing game. It was a relaxing game. It was a nice,
Oh, the
relaxing
first
game.
quarter wasn't, but yes, I would
right.
agree.
Definitely the second half was
Yeah.
very nice. But getting back to Murray,
Present.
yeah, he see, I like it.
Yeah.
You're catching on.
Present.
He did have the 100 yards rushing, but his some of the catches he made and the moves he made catching the ball out of the backfield. I knew he was talented, but even some of those kind of surprised me a little. And I'm like, whoa.
Do you know he's
know?
catching 87% of the balls thrown to him? I mean, I don't know how that ranks for anything else. I just caught that number when I was looking at things today, and I thought that was pretty high.
But again, it just goes to show like this guy needs to be an important part of
Jason's
the
like, I don't give a
offense.
fuck about that stat.
No, fuck that. Stats? I don't give. Whatever. It's my birthday, bitch. Fuck stats.
All right, all
They're
right.
fine.
Got
Statistically,
my box wine. Fuck your stats.
Right. But again, I just think going forward, again, keeping Murray involved in the game is important. Keeps Kamara fresh. And Murray, like we said before the last 2 weeks, like the guy just needs a chance, and you're paying him, $4 million a year. Let's use him, and they're using him, and
Yeah.
it's working out. So
All right, that's it for the game recap. Before we move on to our next segment, I am going to ask Gunn, give you a quick chance to explain why the sunglasses.
Oh, why am I wearing
For those
sunglasses?
those watching on the
so
live stream, if they're wondering, like, is this guy just think his shit doesn't
what's
stink?
funny is
Is it
I just
what is
looked to
it,
my
Sean
right.
Salisbury? What is the who's
he
the?
looks like he's at the final table of World Series of Poker.
Oh, I am. I'm at the final table. All right.
Well, the
I just
Bears
looked to my right
quarterback.
I looked to my right over here to Uncle Baby Billy, and he's making this move where he fucking kind of his tail goes to the right and to the left, and then he kind of shakes his ass a little bit. He's about to attack something. I adopted an 11-week-old kitten for my daughter's 11th birthday a week and a half ago. And if I make eye contact with this little cocksucker, he's not going to stop fucking meowing. I've learned that I have to wear sunglasses inside.
No, I.
It's the only way that I get any kind of peace is if I wear sunglasses in my own condo here. And then little Uncle Baby Billy can't look me in the fucking eyes. And then and he doesn't. I mean, if I take these fucking glasses off, he won't shut up. He won't.
He'll join the show.
The whole fucking podcast will be ruined.
Well,
Move along,
I don't
yeah.
know if you've ever. At least you're not
All right,
walking.
He's got Andy Reid.
It's my-
Anyway.
oh, you saw that Ben Wright's comment.
Yeah, that's coming. So yeah, I mean, I'll take him. I'm not gonna take him off because
No,
I don't want
I
Uncle
don't think you
Baby Billy.
should. I don't think.
I
you
don't
should.
want Uncle Baby Billy to see my eyes because it'll be fucking relentless. He'll be coming for my face, motherfucker. He'll get me first thing in the morning for about a pint of blood.
Isn't having a cat.
Because I take the
This is
sunglasses
why
off to
Jason has
sleep.
dogs, by the way.
Yeah, no, dogs are great. Dogs are so much fucking better than cats. Cats are horrible. This is my first cat ever. I mean, he's cute as fuck, but man, he's like a fucking assassin. Like I said, I have to take my sunglasses off to sleep. So sometimes
But you
I'll
have
wake
to close
up.
your eyes when you do. Is what
Yeah,
happens.
I'm like Cyclops from the X-Men.
Right. That's it. That's
wake up and open. Yeah, and then he whoop, he's on me, and shit happens that way.
All right. So here we go into look at in tweets. All right. Let's see. We got one here. Let's see. Triple D Kennels says Shindig is great, very smooth, kind of pricey though. Haven't made it to the other bottle yet, but I'll let you know if it's good. Talking about that Louisiana vodka that he told me, and then he asked, has Lutz lost his mojo? So we did kind of talk about that part. I don't think we need to rehash it. You guys say he'll shake it off, right?
Probably not. It's definitely in his head right now, and so, kickers can be fickle like that. But the guy's made a lot of good kicks. I do have faith in him still.
All right. Our next tweet comes from Saints Quebec. It says,
Hey, buddy.
oh, the clip's going right there. All right. Question, eh? This season, how many touchdowns by the Saints have been canceled by a flag for holding, eh? That's my Quebec.
It's a good Quebec.
Is it? Okay, thank you. It was either that or a French accent, you know.
Quatorze.
Well, yeah, but
That's
seriously, how?
French for 14.
Oh, is it? Is it? I mean, honestly, what was it? Another
It's been a lot.
touchdown? Was it one a touchdown called back, or was it just general poor officiating yesterday? I've kind of stopped remembering at this point.
It's always general poor officiating, and look, the Tampa got screwed again, but they blew a whistle on a block. The kind of the same thing. They blocked the kick, and the refs blew the whistle, and
Yeah.
they didn't
Oh yeah,
call
I remember the
touchdown.
play. It was actually what they should have done for the Saints many times on the turnovers, where they let the play through and then
Right.
go back and review it. Whereas in this case, it was like, oh, wait, don't blow it yet. They might score here. Let's let Arizona stay in this game. All right, Will said Panthers got blown out. Tampa got saintsed by the refs. Jason. Falcons are a shit show of a clusterfuck inside a dumpster fire, and I went 5-0 in pick'ems. Hell of a week, boys.
Yeah.
That's from Wheels. All right. Bronze
Not bad.
Warrior at Who Dat Boot, formerly Ice Main. He's back on Twitter. He's happy birthday to, I know, the podcast going funny as heck again.
Wait, what? What was that? Did that make any sense?
I don't know, but he did say happy birthday to you, and
All
he's
right, thank
following
you.
us, and he loves our podcast. So I'm gonna read
I
that.
feel
I'll
honored.
read
Jason,
anyone.
Jason, how old are you?
The big 4-1, 41.
Congrats. Oh yeah, no, I'm with you there, man. I understand. It's a good age.
Yeah.
It's better than
Yep.
All
Well,
right.
yeah.
Hippie, Kate the Hippie says, happy birthday. Play extra 311 on this episode, and your number better be at least a 5. So you got to get working on that. And I will be happy to send you the file, and you can edit this week. All right.
Okay.
Trevor Bruno, do you think we're
Oh, wait,
gonna-
hold. In terms of editing, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to set up my computer's not still set up. But
all right. Well, all right. We'll see what we can do. All right. Do you
how
think
about I send you some 311 music and you pop it in?
that'll work? You tell me what you want played, and I'll edit. That'll be my birthday present to you. All right. Trevor Bruno, do you think we're going to have to go 15-1 in order to have a chance at the 1 or 2 seed, or will the Packers 49ers make our lives easier? Also, how are the refs going to screw us out of another Super Bowl trip because taking away touchdowns hasn't stopped us yet?
God,
I
man,
think we can easily go. I think we can easily go 13-3. I think 13-3 is cruise control.
I
I
don't know
think
that.
14-2 is if we keep the foot on their throats. And I think the team. I'm not as worried about the 49ers as a lot of pundits are, because the 49ers still haven't played the Seahawks at all. They've still got a little bit of a schedule in front of them.
They still have to play
I-
us. They have to come into the dome.
They got to play us. We can take them out on our own, have that head-to-head advantage. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm more frightened of Packers.
Are you
I mean,
frightened of them, or are you
When I
just
say
frightened of
frightened,
what
by
they're
fright, I
going to
mean
accomplish, and then
keeping us from the 1 seed. I think the Packers have a better chance of keeping us from the 1 seed
just because
than
they
any
have an
other team
easier road ahead of them
than any other team in the NFC. They got their shit together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
they
the
still have to play-
49ers, I think, are still false prophets. And
Yeah,
I don't know. Their
49ers do.
defense is playing lights out. I mean,
I will say that the 49ers Panthers score was very surprising to me. I did not
Yeah.
see that even close to coming. But again, they have to play Seattle twice. They have to play the Rams. They have to play us. There's like their schedule of the next 5 or 6 weeks is pretty tough. But I mean, I think it's going to take 14-2 to get the 1 seed, unfortunately. Whereas the Patriots could cruise to 13-3 and easily get the 1 seed. The AFC is dog shit.
all right.
It's just the NFC's. I think those are the top 3. Us, San Francisco, and hell, even Seattle. I mean, Seattle's only got 2 losses.
Aaron King says, and they got them refs.
Well, that too.
They got the refs on their side. All right, CJG, this one's for you, Jason, for your birthday. Let's see. Where are you meeting Aaron Brooks so that you can give him a blowjob for your birthday?
See, here's the thing. When it's my birthday, he has to blow me.
Oh, da-doom. There you
Right.
go.
I'll meet him at the Saints Hall of Fame. He'll have his framed picture right up there, and
Not
get
the Ring
down
of
on his
Honor.
knees and-
We know that
Right.
much.
not the
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
Definitely not.
All right, let's see. Did we lose the feed or is it still up? Let's see.
I mean, I see it.
All right, good.
He's rolling.
It's me. Okay. Next one comes from Saints UK Hub. Did you enjoy the calls from the UK Saints fans meetup, and did you wish you could have been over there with us? So for those who don't know, the UK Saints podcast had a fan meetup, a Saints fan meetup this weekend, Saturday night, as a tailgate for their NFL, their last NFL game in London.
They've
No,
got
there's
one
one
this
more.
week coming
Yeah,
up.
there's one more.
Okay, whatever. And then they're all shitty games anyway. So they
Yeah,
had a
sure.
they had a group of Saints fans meet at the Ninth Ward bar in London, and they were taking pictures. They ended up calling, I guess, me and you individually, uh, not together because I don't remember answering a call and seeing you on it. But yes, it was pretty awesome, I will say, to be a part of their Saints fan meetup. Even though we couldn't actually be there. What
Right.
about you,
It
Jason?
was it was pretty incredible. Like the pictures, that bar looked like a cool place. And apparently, I mean, they were all like super super shit faced. Like I'm amazed that they
Made it to
lasted
the
as
game.
long as they did. I mean, I know apparently James threw up a little bit, which James is the Jason of their podcast. So if
As
anybody's gonna
is
throw up,
tradition,
it's gonna be James.
right?
But no, but it was cool to get a few. The technology these days where you can answer your phone and somebody's just calling you from fucking London, and it's a video chat, not just a
Right.
like. I remember Back to the Future Part 2. Like this is futuristic video conferencing. That'll never happen.
And look at
Meanwhile, what
us.
what what are we doing
Look at
right
us
now?
right now. That's right.
I got my hoverboard underneath my feet.
Nope, that's Uncle Baby Billy, and he's eating them.
No, that
All
little
right,
son of a bitch is fucking drinking water and eating a little kibble right now.
he's
It's the
eyeballing
last
you.
kibble. It's the last kibble he has on the bag that came from the pound. He's gonna have to make a transition tomorrow
To tuna or leftovers,
to fucking
dry
fucking earn his keep.
meow
We have to
mix.
earn his. We're going to earn his shit around here.
All right, Jay Caro, with how this team is playing and how good it seems they all get along in the locker room, is it smart to force a trade? Wouldn't it be better just to let this team keep going with the chemistry that they have? Whatever the Saints are looking for, just put Taysom Hill in that position?
I mean, you could, but I think this locker room's so strong. I don't care who you bring in. I don't think that would affect it at all. I mean, look, we brought in Des Bryant last year. Now he got hurt and it didn't work out,
You can't really.
but
They really liked Des Bryant for like the 2 days he was there. He
One
made quite a fucking impact.
day.
The one day he was there,
One day.
like everybody's like, he's the best fucking guy. He should be our Man of the Year
He
nominee.
didn't have time to ruin the locker room, okay?
I mean,
Hey,
dude, he
guys.
he was giving motherfuckers hand HJs around for the fucking.
Oh my god.
I mean, they really enjoyed his presence.
I mean, hey, he likes to be around wieners. What? Okay. Davis Douglas says, now that we're halfway through the season, who on the Saints do you have for the following so far? MVP? Who do you have as the MVP of this team?
You asking me or you asking?
Well, I'm asking you because Jason up and left.
Yeah, I feel bad. I might have interrupted Jason and made him leave. Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill.
Really?
All day.
Taysom
Yeah.
Hill? Really? Oh, you and
Yep.
Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, we might have to do an episode with you and Scott both here so y'all can just like have a Taysom Hill segment where you just
Real answer. I mean, real answer. Teddy really stepped up.
You're giving
I
it
mean,
to Teddy.
Teddy stepped up in a huge way. What he did during those 5 weeks is huge.
So I think
And I think he
there's
earned.
more
I think he
categories.
earned that accolade by taking the contract that he took. He didn't want to go to this shit show Miami.
So you're saying he
Right
is
now.
a literal value pick. He's a valuable pick.
I think like if you look at it all encompassing, I mean I give it to Teddy so far. I mean as of right now, I
And
give it to Teddy.
And for
Teddy
those of you
didn't have to
watching
come
live,
back.
go ahead and post who your votes are for. But I'm going to say Michael Thomas. And there's all the tweets that are going on right now saying that he ought to be in the conversation for the NFL MVP. And I think in the same vein of why you choose Teddy is why I choose Michael Thomas, because he was the guy who Teddy could lean on. I mean, you know what I mean? He was that valuable player that Teddy needed in order to
Well, here's
be the
I
valuable
started
player
saying
that
this about
he
Teddy
was.
last year. I started saying this about Michael Thomas last year. If Michael Thomas got hurt last year, if Michael Thomas got hurt this year, I think it's a bigger loss than Drew Brees.
Well,
Michael Thomas goes down, we're in real bad shape.
Well, and the Teddy and the team's performance with Drew Brees down proves that
Yeah.
because you're right. I mean, we were able to go undefeated without Drew Brees because of the genius coaching of Sean Payton, because of the great play by the offensive line, because Teddy Bridgewater's a great backup quarterback, great starting quarterback for many teams, but also because Michael Thomas was on that field. And you're right. If Michael Thomas goes off this field, then who's
We
our
have
number one
nothing.
receiver? Taysom Hill.
We've got nothing. So I want to change my answer. I want to say that Teddy Bridgewater is non-Mormon Saint of the Year, and I want to say that Michael Thomas is our MVP.
Okay. And then Aaron King did say no love for the defense. I mean, no, but there is much love for the defense. So, all right. So Davis Douglas's next category is biggest surprise. So halfway through the season, who do you say is the biggest surprise? Teddy Bridgewater.
No, biggest surprise.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
I mean, there's a lot of Latavius Murray's performance these
Andrews
last 2 weeks
Pete.
was not a surprise. Andrews Pete has performed out. I mean, being such a Saints homer, you expect so many guys to do well. So it's hard to say it's a surprise when people really outperform their expectations.
Because you had the expectations were here already.
Yeah, expectations were pretty high already. Latavius Murray did a fantastic job catching the ball out of the backfield. In the absence of Kamara, he ran like a grown-ass man.
Well, I like the way he runs. It almost it's a little bit of a combination of the pounding that Mark Ingram runs, but also he's got a little bit of a move, a little slip move every now and then that like Kamara has. So it's a good hybrid. But I don't know that that's a surprise. Biggest surprise, I mean, it's got to be
the center.
Oh,
Center out of
okay.
Texas A&M, second round draft pick. You knew he was going to be good, but he stepped right in, and when he for a moment this week it looked like he might be injured, and that was really scary because when centers go down, teams usually don't respond well to that. He missed a play. He came back in. He's another value position play. He's a guy we're going to have on contract. We're going to have a all-pro level center for the next 4 years on a second round.
You know they're going to re-sign him. I mean, this guy's going to be on this team for 10 years. Another big surprise, I don't know that he wins the prize, but he should get honorable mention, is Terran Armstead for playing all 8 games. For not hurting himself out of
You love the injury aspect of Terran Armstead.
I do.
Love it.
I know. All right. Comeback player. Through 8 games, who is your comeback player? And while y'all discuss that between the two of you, I'm going to make a drink.
Player. Well, who had it down? I mean, Marcus Williams has played better this year. I thought he had a down year last year. He's played a little better, but I mean, I'm trying to think of in terms of somebody who just like man, he was dog shit last year. I mean, I don't know.
Davenport's played really well, and I think that he has been under the burden of some he's been the victim of stupid high expectations for a long time. I don't know if that qualifies him as a comeback player of the year, but if you want to talk about like a guy that's like a fulfilling potential player of the year, coming from a small school like he has, I mean, to see Teddy get back into the league, get back into a starting role, it's belated because it's not his first year after coming back from anything. He was healthy last year, gosh,
it is a good comeback story with him being able to play these 5 games and to go 5-0, to get the fans to rally behind him.
I mean, if you want to look at it all encompassing, Teddy's getting paid. Teddy, like if we're examining it by bank accounts, Teddy's going to get paid this offseason, and his bank account is going to make a comeback. Unlike many quarterbacks in the league, Foles went and got him a big ass contract, and Teddy's about to do something very, very similar. To wherever he goes and whatever he does, I mean, all power to him. I mean, is he a comeback player of the league in a traditional sense? You know, it's hard to say.
All right, Mordecai. Not gonna lie, but I dig the design of Jeff's bed sheets in the background. Thanks. It's our guest bedroom.
I slept there once.
You did. That's Jason's bed for when he comes and visit. All right. So y'all got comeback player. Who'd you pick?
Yeah. I guess kind of Bridgewater. I mentioned Markins Williams having a little bounce back year. But I was trying to think of like who kind of sucked. Like did anybody really suck last year and now they're man, okay, they're I just didn't
I
feel
mean,
like
Taysom Hill was just extremely awesome last year,
Now he's
but
Uber.
now he's like infinitely super Mormon awesome. If we're not going to give it to Teddy.
He's lobbying for that to be like the name of the show, the title of the episode. All right. Next one is best group. O-line, secondary, position group.
I would go defensive line.
There you
They've
go.
been able to get so much pressure without having to rely on the blitz, which has been what this Saints defense has had to do for the majority of Peyton's time here to get pressure. And sometimes it works, other times it leaves us incredibly vulnerable. And to be able to get it without it means you can rely on your secondary and your linebackers, to make plays. And that's why our defense has been so fucking good.
Adjust
We
your
haven't had.
microphone closer to your mouth.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Is that stand closer? I don't know
Yep.
how short I really am. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to have, to be able to let those guys do the work and let the rest of your defense be able to do theirs, that's the reason why this defense has been so good.
That's what Aaron King wanted us to make sure the defense got their recognition, especially the D-line. We got that. What about letdown player? Who's your letdown player?
I'll go this. Did the Saints just whiff on Nick Easton? I mean, they paid him.
Well, the fact that I'm glad you brought that
he's-
up because Will Clapp steps in instead of Easton. Where is he? I thought maybe he's hurt.
He's in that. No, he's a healthy scratch, and we're paying him $4 million a year, I think.
Oh.
Now they did. Now look, they signed him before they drafted McCoy in the draft. I mean, they signed him thinking they were going to need him to play center, and then when the opportunity came to grab McCoy, they did, and luckily that's worked out. But I mean, you're sitting here paying Nick Easton for at the minimum. I thought he'll be your swing lineman, your uber reserve like Clemente was, and the dude can't even be active. So I don't know if they just completely whiffed on the guy. If this is just all right. Well, after this year, he's just sorry we fucked up.
Mordecai said he was inactive, Easton.
Yeah, healthy and active. Yeah.
So, all right, I just figured it out. Gunn with the glasses. You need the long hair and a robe next time. And
I've got a robe on. I'm wearing the
I was
robe.
gonna say,
and
I thought it might look like a robe, but the dude.
Yeah, no, John. I'm a big fan of John Goodman.
That's
Big fan of
yeah.
John Goodman films.
Yes, you are the Big Lebowski.
I'm transitioning into the Big Lebowski.
You're Thor Lebowski. Thor Lebowski.
Right now, I'm just Gunn, the 40-year-old bachelor divorcee. After we get done with this, I'm going to smoke some pot and play with big Call of Duty.
Oh, all righty.
While wearing these sunglasses, because I can do whatever the fuck I want. Because there's we all have.
Baby Billy has something to say about it.
Oh yeah, well, Uncle Baby Billy's gonna. We've got something for him too.
All right.
We got something that calms him down a little bit as well.
It's called catnip.
Yeah, a little catnip.
You get your
He likes
catnip. He gets his catnip. By the way,
Yes.
and for those of you who get a little concerned, Gunn lives in a state where it's legal. It's fine.
Yes, catnip is legal where I live.
All right, and the last category from Davis Douglas is best play or best moment so far. Did it happen this week, or was it even before then? What's the best play or moment so far? Didn't we have a blocked punt? I guess it's not the best if I can't. I know it happened.
No, I know what was the best.
The
moment
safety.
So far.
It was against the Bears. The blocked punt. Yeah.
No, I will say Lutz's winning kick against the Texans in Week 1. Look
that
at what
was
happened.
an awesome moment.
Like look what happened. We had the lead. We fucking gave up on 2 fucking plays. Gave it up. to come back at the end of week 1 where you're looking at, holy shit, here we are again, week 1, we suck again, we're going to lose, and to turn that around and to win that game and propel the team forward. To me, that's the play of the season right there.
I'm going to say the play in which Drew Brees uh, stubbed his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet where he injured himself.
That was your best
and,
moment?
and caused himself to miss. Yeah.
Best moment.
Because honestly, I mean, it was a horrible, scary. It was the most frightening thing that's happened in a long time of Saints fandom, right? I mean, that was a scary, and the remainder of that game was terrifying,
painful,
terrifying. I mean, it was like all of your hopes were going up in smoke. But what has happened in the 5, now 6 games since that has given me better affirmation of this Saints team is as legit as any Saints team has ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best team we've ever had.
Yep.
Top to bottom. And it took, I mean, gosh, the national media was writing us off. We fell so low on those power rankings and all that bullshit. Dude, Brees went down and Teddy stepped in and we played. The defense stepped up and all these other guys stepped up. Offensive line stepped up. Defensive line stepped up. Secondary stepped up. Coaching stepped up.
The only one who didn't step up was Deontay Harris.
He did return a punt.
He stepped up, but then he signaled for a fair catch within the 3-yard line.
Who, by the way, we all overlooked for letdown player. I'll let you change your vote.
He's not so much a letdown player as
Aaron.
I want to.
Yeah, Aaron King brought that to our attention.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go with I think what I believe Adam Groh is saying on the live chat, that the best moment is the Teddy chance. And again, I think it's in that same vein, Gun, but a different. Coming at it from a different angle, and if I chose a very, very specific moment, I would say it was against the Cardinals when the crowd is cheering and they play in chopper style. The camera goes to Teddy on the sideline, and the crowd gets much more. I mean, I was watching that video while on the toilet today, and it was just goosebumps. I mean, that's when you do most of your tweeting, right? It's when I mean, just the goosebumps. And it's the overwhelming feeling, and like you're saying, it's the completeness, the holisticness of how good the love affair of the fans and the team. And where else are you going to have? I've never seen fans love all 3 of their quarterbacks without there being a controversy, and they're in love with each other and they're supportive of each other. I mean, this is awesome. This city is full of love. Winning cures everything. It really does.
It definitely does.
Yeah. I mean, I cut my arm the other day pretty deep, and I thought I needed stitches. I watched the Saints game, and it's healed.
That's good. Do you think the Pope had anything to do with that?
Oh, absolutely. So did the Mormon Pope.
Do you think that Taysom had anything?
I said the Mormon Pope. Yes.
That's his new name, the Mormon Pope.
I'm glad you clarified between the Mormon Pope and the Pope.
The Pope. The Pope is coming.
Yeah, the Pope is.
All right, Ben Wright. The Cohen moment had me in stitches.
That was pretty funny. I mean, when you're on the road in Chicago and you're beating them so bad, and you're just like fucking playing with them.
Yep, and then there you go, Mordecai. The best moment was the Pope blessing us. So there you have it. Okay, Clown Baby says, every time Dwayne Washington has played, he's looked really good. Almost looks like Kamara, the way he breaks tackles and he has good balance. And I would have to agree. I mean, what do you think of using him more? Or is that just out of necessity because Kamara's not here, and when Kamara gets back, he kind of goes back on the shelf?
That's it. He goes back on the shelf. Save him for when we need him. I think the revelation is Murray present. Using him more and not over relying on Kamara, so that way you keep Kamara fresh. And you could use Kamara in a lot more different ways.
Use Murray in that traditional Ingram role. Use him as we used Ingram. Ingram was the fucking closer. Yeah, bring him in.
But
Uh,
Murray is, and I'll tell you, like, so Murray's average is like 5.5 yards per carry or something, which is more than Ingram's was, by the way. And Murray is the kind of guy like Ingram, though, that the more touches he gets, the more yards. And I know how that sounds, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
you
Yeah.
If
sound
he,
like you
The
sound
more
like the
touches
coach of the Redskins.
oh, I was gonna say like John Madden, right? If he
No,
carries the
well,
ball.
no, the coach of the Redskins listened to John Madden, and that's how he's choosing. And the Bill Callahan, the interim coach of the, he's like, teams that run the ball more win the games.
Right. Well, Sean Payton has something to say about that.
Well, and something we didn't really touch on in the game, we dominated the time of possession in this game. So even though the first half the score wasn't close, I mean, just controlling the game, you knew we were going to wear out that defense, and that was massive to control the
Well,
game.
and a lot of Murray's success is the O line, but at the same time, Murray, he was gashing the
Murray made some good
team.
moves.
He was, and this one's for you, the UK Saints podcast. He was gashing the Cardinals from the beginning. I mean, his very first run was a 5 yard or four, well, four maybe, but five. I'll call it five, just to make my point. and he doesn't run for less than 5 yards. I mean, one or two times, maybe he got stuffed at the line. All right, Neil from the
Hey,
UK. Neil says, "What was better, Sunday's win or seeing your boy drunk on a video call from London?"
I would both 1A and 1B.
There you go. A little from column A, a little from column B. Yes, Neil, it was great to see you. With your gray hair, man. I didn't realize you were that gray. It's like solid white.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe but he's not that old. I mean, I think he's younger than us.
At least he's got hair. I'll give him that. At least he's got it.
And this is now. I do not dye this. This is my natural hair color. All right.
Bullshit.
I swear. That's now. I got grays in the beard. You see that? Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Big Easy Mafia says, if we knew it was your birthday, we'd have had a drink when we FaceTimed you last week or
That's
on
okay.
Saturday.
Maybe next time Saints go to London, it'll be this weekend, and we'll have a giant birthday
Well,
celebration.
it could happen. Neil did say happy birthday, Jason Donkey. Then we've got James from the UK Saints podcast. Happy birthday, Crime Donkey. Try not to get as drunk as I was on Saturday night with a throw up emoji.
Yeah, I won't.
Some more happy birthdays. And do you think Lutz missing 3 field goals in the last 2 games is a concern, or is he just proven to the world? So we did that one from Mordecai. And then Triple D posted this. Let me see if I can share this tweet. There it is. You guys can't see it, but I am showing it on the live stream. So maybe if y'all look at the live stream, you'll see it. Jason, that's to you from Triple D Kennels, and I'll jump back.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It'll show up. Don't worry.
Okay.
There's a delay.
We're on a delay because of the time zones of the tweet.
Yeah, and Ben's.
Ah.
That's right. And Ben's. You see it? No, not yet. All right. And so.
I still don't.
Oh, yeah,
but it's
I
a
see it
very
now.
far away
What is
tweet.
that?
The tweet is from
What
very
is-
far away.
That's from
Oh,
Triple.
vodka.
It could take a while.
Is that vodka?
It's a Vala vodka.
Okay. Hey, she fit it in there.
Ben
Probably-
did to talk about Neil's gray hair. Ben did say he has a hard life. Mm. With that, we're gonna finish the look at him tweets segment and get into pick'ems.
All right. Pick'ems this week.
Is this the part where I get to go? Time to play the game.
That's That's right. We don't need a
about
play.
the game. Now you play it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta take
yeah.
control.
Fucking A. And play that version. Don't play the fucking other bullshit version.
No, yours
I
is
play
better. We'll get you to record it.
I'll do
Okay.
Lemmy. I'll be Lemmy.
All right.
Reading
I
as,
like to mix up my versions here and there, but I do mix it in.
Triple
I do
H.
mix it in. All right, so Pick'ems. Jeff had a solid week last week. Jeff went 4-1. Jeff's trying to climb out the basement.
This is
He's
the
working.
I did 4-1 last week and 4-1 the week before.
You're climbing.
So this is 3 weeks in a row that I've got 4-1.
All right, I went 3-2. So Dave went 2-3 last week. So out of 2 of us, I'm at 18 and 17. And Jeff, you were at 17 and 18. You were
That's
right
right.
there.
And I do need to clear up a discrepancy from the tweet this morning. Number one, I completely missed Mordecai's 5-0, which actually gives him first place, not Greenbaum, by one game. No, 2 games actually. Sorry, Greenbaum. And also, everybody's numbers were off a little bit because I got the Tampa, Tennessee mixed up. So the real scores come down to Mordecai in first place, followed by Greenbaum, then Desi, Sands, Hobbs, Davis, Douglas, Jake, one of my sons, Tom Ensign, Wheels, Jason, Christian Mino, Drew, my other son, James from the UK, me, Triple D. So both my sons are beating me in pick'ems.
Jeff, can I interrupt you and ask you a question here?
Yes.
So these pick'ems, they all involve the point spread, right?
Correct.
What is Mordecai's record, by the way?
23 and 12. Do you need to
Mordecai.
talk?
Mordecai. You could find me on Twitter. I'm at W David Gunn. I like to wager myself, good friend. 5-0 last week, 23 and 12 on the year. Let's fucking talk. I won't introduce you to my bookie because he'd be very upset to meet someone like you. But I will introduce you to the Silver Slipper Casino, home of the Point After WWL radio show on Monday evening.
I don't know. Nobody cares.
Yeah, no, fucking the worst local radio broadcast team in all of fucking.
I love Bobby, but it's not Bobby's fault. I love Bobby. I
hit
just
him in the
don't
head
like
with
the
a goddamn chicken
production
wing.
of 73 hours worth of commercials and 2 minutes worth of show. All right.
And Christian sucks.
Yeah, that too. All right. So
Christian's
everybody
fucking
else
awesome.
is
Don't
not
get me
doing
started.
as well as the people I've already mentioned. I'm not going to belabor the point.
23 and 12
Other-
with the spread.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the spread involved.
yeah. But Neil, by the
23 and
way,
12.
is not in last place anymore. But I will say, because Big Easy Gaijon is in last place by 1 game, but Neil is a beautiful 14 and 21.
And Mordecai is not choosing these games that get selected.
He can't
He's
get
just
over it.
picking the ones that you fucking select.
Yeah,
That's
and
correct.
Greenbaum's 21
Mordecai,
and 14.
find me at W David Gunn on Twitter. I have like 2 tweets.
He
They're
says
both aimed at
he
like
says he'll
AT&T
take a
or
75
fucking DirecTV.
He says he'll take a 75% cut, and you'll call it a deal.
Yeah, that's fine. No, not a problem. Not a problem.
It's still better than what Gunn. It's still better than what Gunn's got
It's
going
still better
right
than
now.
losing.
Still better than what I'm doing right now.
All right.
But wait, 23 and 12 against
He can't get
spread?
over it.
Right. All right.
5-0 last week. I believe I listened to the motherfucker last week.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to this week's slate of games. We have our final London game of the season. You get the Houston Texans coming off a late win this past week, although they did lose J.J. Watt to a torn pec, so now he is out for the season again. I believe this makes 3 or 4 seasons that J.J. Watt will end the season on IR. So they travel over to London to play the London Jaguars. The unofficial, the unofficial team of London, the home game. Minshew Mania continues to roll. They had another nice win this week. Minshew threw for another 3 touchdowns. I don't know which stadium this is being played at, but I'm sure a couple of our UK brethren are going to go to the game. Jacksonville is getting 2.5
at home.
I'll go first. Give me the Jaguars.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Jacksonville when they go to London.
Jaguars.
Yeah, Jacksonville brings it when they go to London.
Yeah, that's their second home.
They're used to playing over there.
Then who are they playing?
Houston. I'm
So-
thinking Houston. I think it's too close.
Houston's minus 2.5.
Yes.
What does Mordecai think?
You won't know until tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say Houston minus 2.5 all day.
That's what I.
Fuck
That's what
the
I
Jaguars
picked. And
being at home.
that's what I picked. And I'm on a 12-3 streak for the last 3 weeks.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
I'd probably tease that one to plus 4.5 Houston. just because I'm a degenerate like that.
Yeah. So apparently the game is at Wembley Stadium.
All right, Wheels, welcome. He says late to the party. Hello, fellas.
That's right. You made it. All right, our next game, the Tennessee Titans, coming off a late win against Tampa, the beneficiary of a shitty officiating call, but Ryan Tannehill is in quarterback in that team. They traveled to Carolina, who got completely obliterated by San Francisco this past week. They gave up a 50 burger to San Francisco this week. Um, uh, Kyle Allen will still be quarterbacking. Cam Newton is not ready yet, which is a shame because I really want Cam Newton to get back because he's
You
the
think Cam
heartbeat,
Newton
and I
will
want
play
to see
again?
shitty outfits. I think I don't think Carolina has a choice. When Cam Newton's healthy, I think they have to go back to him.
All right.
Now it's gonna benefit the Saints because I think they're worse off with him.
It's
But
kind of like
anyway,
the Mitch Trubisky effect.
right. So it's in Carolina. Panthers favored by 3.5.
Panthers by 3.5.
Right. So should Carolina lose this game, the Saints are going to open up like maybe a 3.5 game lead in the NFC South.
Yeah.
So do you think with your head? Do you think with your heart?
I'm taking Carolina in this one. Thinking with my head. I mean, Carolina. Yeah. They're better
If
without
Cam
Cam.
Newton were playing, if Cam Newton were playing, I would take Tennessee. But with Kyle Allen playing, I'll take Carolina.
I will also take Carolina. Our next game, Chicago Bears, coming off a loss to the Chargers where Cody Parkey missed about a 40-yarder at the end of the game. Mitch Trubisky continues to look like shit. That this team is getting frustrated. Their defense is getting frustrated, knowing their offense is garbage. They traveled to Philly, who comes off a win this week against Buffalo. Really surprising win. Philly beat Buffalo this week, I thought.
Wait, who was the first team?
Chicago, the Bears.
All right.
They travel to Philly.
Philly.
They're at Philly. Eagles. They've been up and down this year. Haven't played great, but the Eagles are favored by 5. Seems a little high. I thought it'd be about 3.5, but it's up at 5. I think Vegas knows the Bears are garbage.
So the Saints sent him into a tailspin.
Oh,
Yeah, you like that?
that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's right. Arizona's about to go to a 3-game losing streak too. So I'm taking Philly because Chicago's not finished with their tailspin. And Chicago
Are they playing?
sucks.
They're playing in Chicago.
In
No,
Philly.
in Philly.
No, fucking easy. Philly all day, all day. That's
I'm
probably what Mordecai is going to pick as well.
I'm gonna take Philly as well. All right, our next game.
Wait, Jason, who'd you take?
I took Philly. All right, our next game. This is the game of the week. The New England Patriots riding high at 7-0, playing a bunch of 1AA teams on their way there. Their defense is breaking fantasy records left and right because they get to play garbage. They traveled to Baltimore to play a Ravens team who is coming off a bye. They're sitting there at 5-2, coming off their bye.
I'll take the Patriots.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't do the spread yet. Sorry. Go ahead.
The Ravens are getting 3.5 at home.
Oh yeah, I'll take the Patriots.
All day and twice on Sundays.
I'm going to take the Ravens.
Good.
Oh, wow.
Look, this is going to be the first real test for New England. They have not been tested all season. And I know Belichick's great, but you know what? Tom Brady is looking incredibly old, and Lamar Jackson is going to wreck. Lamar Jackson's been wrecking shit all season. He's going to wreck shit this weekend.
That Patriots defense is insane, man. The Patriots defense is hardcore.
Not as good as the Saints defense. If the Saints would have gotten to play their
Not as good as the Saints.
They are better, but I would agree that in a street fight, the Saints win.
The difference between the Saints defense and the Patriots defense is like every week, let the Patriots play somebody. It's like they've got some kind of fucking story.
But
like
Jamie
Collins. Jamie Collins this week was cut by the Browns, and then he went and he like ass raped the Browns for like 2 sacks and other shit.
But
like every
to be
week they play
fair
somebody
to
that's
the
fucked
Saints-
them over, and they go and they unfuck themselves and fuck them more.
the Patriots are statistically better than the Saints, but then again, they've played no one who can produce statistics against them.
No, they got that
The
fucking
Saints have actually played against the playoff
AFC.
Right. You know,
The Weinstein division.
every team the Saints have played except one has had a winning record at the time we played them. Whereas the Patriots,
Oh, we've had
are
a
playing
quality
against, like you said, Division
the
One
thing.
teams.
When I said earlier that we coast to 13-3, we coast to 14-2. We've played the hard part of our schedule.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, we still have the NFC South.
Right. Over
yeah,
the next
we
month,
got the NFC South. That's
over
gonna
the
be a
next
lot
month,
of fun.
we have 4 straight division games in November.
Oh, it's gonna be a good November. All right, what's the next?
The next one is the shitty game of the week.
Oh, my favorite.
And wouldn't you know it? It's in the AFC East. We were just talking about them. The New York Jets. Sitting there, I think
They are like
what
perennial
they have
in this shitty game of the week.
this. Well, I mean, again, this is the Patriots. Get to deal with. I think they have 1 win on the season. The Jets.
Who?
They travel to Miami, play a Dolphins team who is currently losing by 10 to Pittsburgh in the fourth quarter, so they will continue to be winless. They jumped out to a 14-3 lead and have been outscored since then. This game is in Miami, and the Dolphins are getting 5.
All right, now didn't we already have the Jets in Miami in a shitty game earlier this year?
I know we had Washington, Miami.
It's like always. What if we do Miami in every shitty game this year? It's just the Miami game of the week.
We had the Chargers in Miami.
It's synonymous.
We probably
The Jets are getting 5
No, the Jets are giving 5. Miami is getting 5
on the road.
home. Yes, the Jets are giving 5 at home. I mean, on the road.
Let's
Miami
take
is getting
the
5
Jets.
at home.
The Jets.
I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets as well.
I would always defer to what Malachi or Mordecai suggests, but I'm gonna take the Jets here.
I'm taking. Yep.
Y'all are all taking the Jets. I'm gonna take Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Jets are gonna win the game, but I think Miami's actually gonna make it close.
Miami's gonna be on a short week this week, coming out of Monday Night Football.
That's okay. The Jets, in case you haven't heard, the Jets suck too.
What if Miami traded us all of their first round draft picks that they've accumulated over the last 16 months, which is like 4 first round draund picks?
Wheels just said classic Jeff
Taysom
because I took Miami. All right. That's all your pick'ems. For those of you listening, make sure that you tweet in your pick'ems before the noon games start. And I will like it when I've recorded it. Sometimes I don't record it until the Monday after, but it's fine. If I miss it, I can always update the stats. All right, that is it. There is no Saints preview because we're on a bye week. So at this point,
this is gonna be a relaxing weekend. Saints are on a bye. LSU's on a bye.
I'm not gonna know what to do with myself. It's gonna feel like spring. I'm gonna want to boil crawfish.
I'm gonna move. I gotta go move some more stuff out in Slidell from Slidell to here on Saturday, and then I'm playing a little golf Sunday, and that's it.
All right.
Not worried about football for a weekend. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. All right. And anybody got any big Halloween plans? Final thoughts?
I'm going to the Pelicans game on Halloween night. Hopefully they finally get a win.
That should be scary.
It could be. It could be. They've had a tough schedule. They played all.
They've had a tough schedule. They are playing Golden State tonight. I have not yet seen the score.
Before we started recording, I had checked and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Christ. But no Zion and Holiday didn't play, and he's not playing tonight. So, but the first 3 games they were losses, but they were competitive. They're just
competitive losses, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else with?
I would say I would tell a classic story about Bobby Hebert.
I love Gunn's Bobby Hebert stories.
After we stop recording, or whatever,
one of those stories.
Whatever. I mean, whatever depends on. I don't know, man. The fucking, whatever the live folks want, they probably want less Gunn.
don't know. There's only a few left.
Uh, I
Go
would
ahead. What
say
do you got?
this.
You got a couple of minutes before we'll close it out. How's that? The floor is yours.
We got the bye week, right? And there's a couple topics you can talk about in the NFL from the perspective of a Saints fan. Number one, this officiating is shitty, right? This officiating is bad.
Yeah.
But as Mordecai, the 23-12 against the spread guy, knows, it's not limited to Saints games. It's bad. It's bad officiating across the NFL. If you really want to get a true idea of how a fan base feels about officiating, wager on a fucking team. Bet on a team and start to watch through the eyes of that fan base and start to watch the bullshit that happens with NFL referees. And notice I say NFL referees because here's one thing that the NFL doesn't understand. Your typical big-time football fan doesn't just watch football on Sunday. They watch football on Saturday too. We watch college football on Saturday, and we watch pro football on Sunday. And guess what? The college football, the officiating is not as bad.
It's still pretty bad, though.
It's still pretty bad. You can watch it from a biased standpoint, but it's not as bad. I mean, the NFL officiating is shit. It is fucking shit on ice. It is shit on ice.
So what's the solution? I mean, is it full-time refs? Is it
I've got the solution.
Cameras? Oh,
I've got the solution for you. No, not more cameras. We've already got the best cameras in the fucking world. We got 3D. We got this. We got that. You've got how many people watch and consume an NFL football game on the average Sunday, or watch the whole plate of NFL football?
I hope this goes where I think it's going.
Hundreds of millions of people watch this shit, right? And you might have across 16 stadiums or 15 stadiums, you might have, I don't know, million plus there watching in person. So you got hundreds of millions of people consuming this product in a certain way. And you've got the fucking little NFL referees looking at the shit through a little fucking box on the field to validate their own blown call.
So it's your
why
solution?
not just have a motherfucker sitting in a recliner somewhere, or many motherfuckers sitting in recliners everywhere?
That's what happens when New York phones in.
No, that's not. Fuck New York. Fuck New York. New York is Goodell, and Goodell is the enemy, and the enemy is bad.
Yeah.
Goodell is so bad. Like, I remember 3 or 4 years ago. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, it was like the NFL can't fucking fail. How could the NFL ever fail? Record ratings, record revenue. But, dude, this motherfucker has successfully sunk the fucking Titanic. He really has. He really fucking truly has. He's done it with bad officiating. They've done it with fucking domestic violence. Any metric you judge this asshole by, he has fucked it up.
He's bad at concealing the fact that there's a script or there's an agenda at play.
He's bad at concealing fucking head injuries. He's bad at concealing fucking beating up white chicks. He's bad at all of it, dude. He fucking sucks at all of it. All of it.
All right.
But they keep fucking paying him.
So were you going in the direction of the solution to the bad officiating is that all of these fans get to vote on a questionable play? You know, like American Idol style.
That's some Mad Max shit.
Yeah.
That's some Mad Max shit that's about 15 years away.
Yeah. I could see like all the whole of the
But no, like they say like a sky judge. Dude, you can have a motherfucker who's watching the game as it's presented on television and watching obvious shit happens that can buzz in and go, this is not Like, no, this you out of your
Nah,
fucking
the
mind.
the spring league that failed after about 6 weeks this past spring did that. They had the guy up in the booth who could press the button and override what happened or what was called on the field or what wasn't called on the field, and it worked. You're right, it worked. It
It worked.
made the
It
right
worked.
calls right, but the league
Yeah,
folded.
instead you got these assholes trying to affirm or not affirm their own fucking calls.
They'll
It's not
never.
going to work.
Well, yeah, they'll never.
They're never gonna
Oh,
admit
Well,
that they
I
suck.
didn't miss that pass interference call.
Right.
You know, the NFL's got that to deal with, which is a big fucking deal. It's a big deal. I mean, guys, after last year, I barely came back as a Saints fan.
It's a good thing you did.
I barely came back as a fucking NFL fan. There was a hole in my heart after seeing something that egregious.
Hmm.
It was fucking hard to deal with. And
It
I
was rough, man. It
remember
was rough.
after I picked myself up off the literal fucking floor and watched the AFC Championship game that evening,
How did you even
and
do that? I couldn't even do that.
and doing it
Barely
like
watched Super Bowl.
in this weird detached way that I no longer gave a fuck. And it was like everything was so fucking arbitrary. And I put myself in a position like we fucking make fun of soccer, for example. Soccer's got like 2 fucking rules. Don't use your hands. Don't fucking run off sides. 2 fucking rules. Oh, soccer's so difficult. Don't use your fucking hands. And don't run off sides. And if you can't fucking understand offsides, go back to the fucking back of the line.
Go to the back of the line. Hey,
They try to like, oh, in the fucking soccer. No, dude. Try to fucking explain football to your
yeah.
international friends. And try to explain football to like you're on a date with a woman who's not watched football her entire fucking life. Try that shit.
So no one from Louisiana.
Right. Maybe they're from Mississippi.
Northern Mississippi.
What I'm saying is, it's fucking difficult. You started to go through all these bullshit arbitrary rules, and it's impossible. It's impossible. And I was watching that AFC Championship game, and I said, "Fuck this." Fuck this.
All right, so I'll try to center this here. The attitude that you're talking about that you exited the season with, you coming into this year, and I tweeted this earlier today, and this is again, I'll say it, that I went into this year, I'm happy with what's happening. I love the steamroll that the Saints are doing, and it is different this year because every other year before that, I would be more concerned with, you know, do the other teams or the other fan bases or the talking heads nationwide, do they respect us? Or do they, the power rankings or the opinions or that they think what they think? It doesn't matter anymore. Because of that game, the NFC Championship game last year allowed me to stop caring what they think. And all that matters this year is I want to keep winning because it makes us feel good, because it's 100% for us. It's not for them. It's not to earn respect. It's about, you know what, we already know we're good. And the fact that you don't respect us is only going to make it that much more enjoyable. You know what I mean? You don't care. You don't care what they think. And when you can get that
And
out of there, it makes you enjoy it again.
Their solution was more rules. Their solution was more rules. Oh, so now we're gonna allow the referees to fucking to vote on themselves if they missed or didn't miss an interference call. Well, that's fucking
But
brilliant.
then they're not even going to
That's
overturn
fucking
anything. They might have overturned.
No, they're
one or
never
two
gonna
plays.
fucking overturn anything.
I mean, 2 this whole year or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is one that I'm glad they didn't do for us. But
Enforce the fucking rules that you have. Learn and know the rules that you already have, and
much like
enforce
governing a
them.
country.
Right. Right.
You don't need to make new laws. Just enforce the ones you have.
Enforce the fucking one. Don't go through the problem of writing new laws. Just enforce the fucking ones already on the book.
Right.
Chances are you've already been there
the
before,
point you're right.
because that's what history does.
Football wasn't broken. It wasn't
No.
It
broken.
kind of was. It kind of was.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you see,
well, Goodell broke it. Goodell fucking
right.
broke it.
I'm talking about the rules.
Everything that
You're
he's
saying
done,
the rules were
everything
broken?
that he touches turns to
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. You had rules that couldn't interpret it. What the fuck's a catch? I don't know.
Oh, well, that.
Oh
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
fuck's
okay.
a catch?
Oh,
I don't know
oh,
what a fucking catch. Don't ask me what a catch is. I
but
don't fucking know.
that's because they inserted these rules to qualify a catch when they didn't need to. If they would have left it well enough alone. All right. So football in the 80s and 90s was the last time football wasn't broken.
Such a simpler time, and
Yeah.
guys were getting knocked out left and right.
Yes.
And concussions.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
sold it to you on a goddamn highlight VHS.
They sure did. Yeah.
Look
the
at
greatest
these
hits.
assholes getting knocked the fuck out.
Right.
Buy it for $19.99 or free with your Sports Illustrated
Yeah,
subscription.
right. Free with your Sports
Fucking-
Illustrated.
That's
Versus
right.
now
Watch
they're
these.
like, oh, send him to the back of the line.
Right.
Fucking put him out of
Put him in
here.
their safe
Just
space.
suspend him.
with names
Fine
like
him.
Kyler.
Fine him.
You know, I mean, now you've got the millennial
He hit-
names
He
entering
hit
the NFL.
Kyler too hard.
You're gonna have
He hit Kyler too hard in the helmet.
right.
And most of the time, Kyler's like, lowered his fucking helmet. And then you just go, you hit him in the fucking helmet too. And they're like, don't sell it on a VHS for $19.99. Suspend the guy that hit Kyler.
Right.
Fuck Goodell.
Because yeah.
I hope he chokes on his own fucking dick. I hope that
The South
and
Park.
that's the
there.
crazy thing, a year after fucking year, they just keep paying this cocksucker more. And it makes
Because he takes care of the owners, and that's all that matters to them.
Yeah, because he's their shield.
That's right.
That's it.
Protect the shield. All right, that's all the show we have for you right now. We're going to thank our loyal listeners for downloading each week and telling all of your friends about the Dome Patrol podcast. You can like us on Facebook to watch daily broadcasts. Follow us on Twitter for daily conversation. Facebook, I'm sorry, it's not daily. I'm mixed up. Anyway, subscribe on YouTube to watch or listen as an alternative to your podcast app. And if you want to listen to us the old-fashioned way, there's Dome Patrol Podcast.
Yeah, come.
Bye-bye, donkeys.
Bye-bye, Murray Present Donkeys.
Thanks, fellas. Glad to be back. Thank you, David, for allowing me to come back.
All right, let me see if I can end this. Hang on.
That's good stuff.